Hey, Granny Gear here for Old Guy on a Bike. Well, Sea Otter 2024 is done and dusted. I got one more little video to do, well, kind of just for fun. I am announcing my very first award show. Yes, indeed. Old Guy on a Bike is giving out awards for Best in Metal. Now, if you know me very well, you know that I'm kind of a metal bike fan. Now, I'm not anti-carbon. I love my Time 80HX road bike. That is a fabulous carbon bicycle. But I have a soft spot in my heart for metal bikes, especially steel bikes. But I'm open to all kinds of metal, and titanium is just fine, and aluminum, well, that's a lot of bang for your buck in aluminum. So when I was running around the show, I happened to notice a few bikes that were made out of metal that I thought, well, they were deserving of a little bit of special recognition, Old Guy in a Bike style. Here we go. First award is the Concourse d'Elegance. That goes to the Ritchie Montebello. You know, Ritchie, they make all kinds of nice steel bicycles. You know, Tom Ritchie, he really knows his way around a steel tube set. But the Montebello, what a cool little bike. From its shiny, shiny fenders to its dynamo hub wiring in the fork, the way they built that up, the racks, the way it can be used, just was definitely, for me, a eye-catching, out-of-the-box kind of bike that you just don't see anymore. And for that reason, I think between the style of it, the shiny hubs, etc., it gets my award for Concourse d'Elegance. And your prize? Well, it's some Meguiar's metal polish to keep all those shiny bits nice and shiny. Nice, Ritchie. Thanks for thinking of a few other people out there that maybe want something a little bit different. The next award, well, that's the Zombie Apocalypse Award. When it all hits the fan and you need to be out there surviving on your bike, you need something that'll take all kinds of tire sizes, because you never know what you're going to find in the junkyard that you might have to use. And it needs to be simple, and it needs to be rugged. Maybe external cable housing would be good in case you need to make a quick cable change when the zombies are catching up on you. And suspension fork, non-suspension fork, all that good stuff. Well, that goes to the Turner Bikes Ven, a new arrival on the very, very useful adventure bike front, if you will. My award for that is a blood-stained zombie killing axe, and comes with a 3D printed titanium axe head. Very useful, very nice. The next award, well, that is Sex on Wheels. That goes to a bike that such clean lines, such nice execution, all done in metal, that I just had to say, oh man, that is a good looking little bike. That goes to the Blackheart AL Road. Now, they made this in Thai, and that's very nice too. This is more affordable. So I wouldn't exactly call it cheap sex, because it's not a cheap frame, but let's just call it budget sex. And for a family man who might want to have a racy bike, and yet you don't want to break the bank, or you still got to pay for the kids' college, well, something like that Blackheart AL Road, very, very nicely done, very nicely done. And what's the award for the Blackheart AL? Well, it's a stripper pole set, which is just the thing for keeping limber after those hard crit races you just want to enter that thing in. And of course, the stripper pole set, well, it's made out of metal. The next award is the Best Cheap Date. You know, something that's pretty darn satisfying but doesn't always cost a whole lot? Well, that is the Husky Duelist. Nice, simple bike, totally useful. You can do all kinds of things with it. It's made out of aluminum. It doesn't cost you a whole lot, somewhere around $2 grand or so, give or take a little bit. Well, There isn't a whole lot of that out there in the bike world right now as prices are going up and bikes are getting more and more expensive. I spent more than that for the last wheel set I bought. So yes, the Husky Duelist, best cheap date. And your award, you get a gift certificate for nice meals at your local Denny's. And the last and final award, the Local Beauty Queen. For that just outstanding, well, you got a purty face, ma'am, award. Yep, that goes to the Sage tie guys. Now, not necessarily one particular model because they did this across several different models, but those Cerakote finishes they did on some of their Sage titanium bikes were just so pretty that I'd hate to get it dirty. And here's the deal with the Sage titanium bikes. Well, in this case, beauty is not just skin deep. What award does Sage get? They get a lovely makeup kit. So no matter where you are on trail or on the road, well, you can keep that pretty face looking pretty. Now that was all just for fun, of course, but there's a serious side to this as well. Because in a way, it's a testament to smaller builders who are putting their heart and soul into making really, really good bikes. And they may be inexpensive bikes, they may be expensive bikes. And sometimes the smaller builder can react better to the pulse of the cycling world than a large company can, because they kind of lumber along and it takes a long time to turn that big ship around if you're someone like Trek or something and respond to what's new in the market. But a small builder, well, maybe they in some ways do that better. So you might find a more useful bike, maybe something like that Turner Van. Wow, there's a lot of goodness in that. And on the lower end of the scale, there's the Husky. And you know what? That's hard to find these days sometimes in the major brands who are just moving down that big path of more and more expensive carbon, lighter, stiffer, etc. That isn't always what people want. So I think there's a good market. Anyway, congrats to all you winners. And by the way, just to let you know, I'm not sending you any of the stuff I talked about. Sorry. Anyway, that's it for this week. That is the wrap of Sea Otter coverage. I hope you enjoyed all the other videos. Got some good response on that. Got a lot coming up. I got to catch up now and get out on my bike and talk about all kinds of stuff I got coming up. Some review stuff, some ride stuff. I signed up for the biggest ride. I think it'll be the biggest, hardest ride I've ever done in one day. That's coming up in June, so I'm building up to that. Be talking about my nutrition journey to that. Be doing some prep for that. What am I adjusting on my bikes? Things like that. So kind of a lot of stuff coming up. Really enjoyed hanging out with you guys at Sea Otter. Some of the people that came up and said, hey man, I love your channel, love what you're doing. And that's always so much appreciated because I'm really doing this for fun and for you guys. All right. That's it for Old Guy on a Bike, and as always, you know what I say, go ride your bikes.